So today we'll see how to insert a node at the end of a single linked list. So in the main program, first we need to initialize a head pointer of a node type. What is node? Node is a self-referential data structure which contains data and a pointer to the next node of the same type. So this data can be of any type. So for the understanding purpose, we are considering this data is of integer type. So using this type definition, we can initialize a node pointer. So once you have created the node, initialize with initialize this with null. So that means initially we have a head null pointer which is of node type. Okay. So then if you want to insert a node at the end, you can use option 4. This is a menu based single linked list program which contains all the possible operations. So option number 4 is to insert a node at the end of the linked list. So we'll be seeking the value that is to be inserted from the user, and that value will be sending along with the head pointer to the function insert node at the end. So this is a function. So we have passed a head pointer and the value that is to be inserted to the list. Now we have initialized a node, uh, temp node, equal to head. That means what? Both head and temporary node will have the same address. So if the list is empty, then a head will not contain any address. That means temp node also will not contain any address. Okay. So assume that we are inserting to the empty list one by one, node by node. So initially it is both the pointers are pointing to the null address. Now we want to create a new node, and in that new node we want to put a value which is passed through to this function. Okay, how do we create a new node? We have written a separate function for it. See here, this is the function for the creating the new node. So we passed the value that is to be inserted to the linked list to this function create node, and we have allocated sufficient memory uh, for the node using this memory alloc function, and we typecast it to a node pointer. Okay, so this is a new node which is pointed to the newly created node. Okay, so this condition will check whether the memory is created or not. If it is not created, we'll return the null. If the memory is created, we'll put a value in the data variable that is there in the node structure. And as you know, this node will contain data as well as pointer to the next node. So we assign null to the to the next pointer in the new node. So then once a new node is created, we'll return this new node to the insert node at the end function here. Okay. So once the new node is created, okay, again these are all to handle the corner cases. If the new node is null, that means if the memory is not created, we will just say that we cannot add the new node. Okay, so if your head is null, initially if the list is empty, then what we do? So we add new node to this list, uh, then head will be pointed to the new node because initially the list is empty. So now we assign head to this new node. So the list will have one node. Okay, then we'll return the head pointer. Okay, so that we can see here. So initially initially our we have a null head. We created a head pointer and initialize it to null. After that, we have created a new node. After creating the new node, we assigned a value. Let us say the value that we are sending is that we have sent is a 10. Let us say 10. And the new node next pointer is going to be null. Pointer is going to be null. So what is this part? This is data part, and this is next part. Next part of the node. Okay. So then what we did? We checked whether the head is null or not. If the head is null or not, if the head is null, then we are equating head to new node. That means what? We are storing the address of the new node in the head. That means what? This is going to be this is going to have then this head is going to have the address of the newly created node. If the newly created node address is at 526, that will be stored here. That means we have just added a first node to the linked list. Okay, so next uh, again if you want to add one more node, you can call this function again. Okay, again if you call this menu, if you give this menu option again, and some value if you pass here, let us say 5, then this function will be called again, and that 5 value will be passed here. Again will uh, have the head, and that head value will be stored in a newly created temp node. Now what will be the value of the head? Now the value of the head is not null now, because already one node is there in the linked list. Now head will have the value 526 because it is pointing to the first node. So that means a temporary node also will be having the same address. That means there is one more node. There is one more node called temp, which is holding the same address as head, because we assigned a head equal to temp, and that is also pointing to the same node because head is pointing to the this node. Okay, so then uh, it will check whether the new node is null or not. Now in this case new node is not null. Okay, when the new node is, we have just created a new node. If it is not null, it will go check this condition. Okay, again it will check whether the head is null or not. In this case head is not null, head is containing some value. Okay, so it will go to the next iteration. In this next condition, in this condition head is not null. I mean to say temp node is not head is not if the head is not null and the new node is not null, then it will check this condition uh, to reach to the last node. Okay, so in our case, it is checking whether temp dot next is not equal to null or not. If you see, this is the temp variable, temp node pointer. So what is the temp dot next? Temp dot next is null. So when the temp dot next is null, this condition is not satisfied. So it will not go into the while loop. Okay, so it will execute this statement. What is the statement? Temp dot next equal to new node. Okay, so so using this statement, we have already created a new node and assigned the value 5. Previously, we wanted to insert a new node, right? So now, so we have a new node, and using create node function, we already assigned a value here, which is 5, and already placed null value null value in this newly created pointer. Now we just have to link these two. Okay, so how do you link these two? What it says, what the code says, temp node equal to temp dot next. So that means what? Uh, Now temp node equal to temp dot next. What is temp dot next? Sorry, this one temp node dot next equal to new node. So what is temp node dot next null? Now this will be replaced with the new node. Our new node is this one. Okay, so let us say the address of this new node is 421. Then this null will be replaced with this null will be replaced with 421. Okay, so whenever we are storing a address, that means it is connected to the another node. That means these two are linked. Okay, similarly, if you want to add one more node, the process will continue. So you will be creating one more node, and you will be storing some value, let us say 6, and you will be, so whenever a new node is created, it will have a data and a null pointer. Okay, then this function will be called, and this function will be called, and it will check this condition whether temp dot next is not equal to null or not. Okay, so whenever it is checking for the first time, initially your temp node is pointing to head. So again, when the function is called, when the list is having already two nodes, your temp is here. Okay, so now temp dot next is not equal to null. In that case, it will enter into the loop. What it says is temp node equal to temp node dot next. So that means what? Temp equal to temp node dot next means what? What is a temp dot next value? 426. That means it is pointing to 421 temp. Okay, so that means we are moving the pointer to the next node. That means we are moving the pointer to the next node. Okay, so then again, while loop continues, again it will check whether temp dot next is not equal to null or not. Now if you check temp dot next is equal to null, therefore it will not enter into the loop. So when it is come out of the loop, what the condition says, temp node dot next equal to new node. So what is temp node? Temp node dot next. This is next value. This is data value. So temp node dot next equal to new node. New node. So let us say new node is at the address of, let us say 625. Okay. So if it is at the address of 625, then this value will be we are storing here. Okay. So what is that? 625. So whenever you are storing address in the next variable, that means it is pointing to the node which is at that address. Okay, that means these two nodes are linked. That means now we are having a linked list of three nodes. Okay, so you can whenever you are calling a function, uh, insert node at the end, it will every time a newly created node will be creating a new node, and then we'll iterate through the list till the end of the node. To the end of the node, we'll be adding one more newly created node. That is how we can insert a node at the end of a linear linked list.